guys, I know it's been a long time since I made a video, but I got some new information here and I figured I would show it to you and discuss a few things. I've been carrying a multi-tool for a few years now, very similar to this Leatherman Wave. I will carry it in either a little pouch I have on my belt, or I have a black oxide version of this that has a pocket clip, and it folds up pretty nice in the pocket. It's kind of heavy and bulky, you know, but I guess it's nowhere near as bulky as the bigger brother of this, which is the Surge. But it's got basically almost everything I need. However, there are times that I find that it would be nice if I could grip on something and just have the tool hold it for me while I do something. And so the idea came up that I could get the Leatherman Crunch, which is this guy here, and you know, that would solve that problem. However, it's got a very limited tool set that's in there. And while I was researching it, I seen this come up a few times, and I was curious about it, and I had not really known much about this before. This is from Kershaw. This is called the A100, and it's discontinued. From what I was researching about it, it came out in 1997, about 2 years before the Leatherman Crunch. There's a lot of similarities between the two, but there's also some major differences. The Leatherman Crunch, you know, these jaws can fold up inside the handle, and the handle becomes about this size, whereas this is the size it always is. It can't fold up in any different way. But this has some major advantages, in my opinion, to this guy, and I wish they still made this. I had to buy this on eBay, and I paid a little over $100 for it. I think I paid $105 for this, which is kind of steep, considering that it's no longer made. But then again, I guess because it's no longer made, it's a rare item, and it's you can't just go out to the store and buy this like you can now. These are still being made, and you know, this is over $100 anyway also. I mean, this is very nice, but the more I looked into this, the more I started thinking that this might be the ideal tool for me. It's still lacking certain things that I like, but I really like the design of it. You know, it's got like a nice technical look to it. Like I like all these little pivot points, and you know, it's just like it's very sleek. It's got an advantage though. It's like the tools in here, you have to open up the handles to get to them inside there, and then this one, it has tools on the inside as well, but the main blade is accessible from the outside. It's a liner lock blade, and it's on the back of the handle here. It's a combo edge, which is not too bad, you know. I mean, for utility purposes, it'll get a lot done with that type of a ripping type of a blade edge. You know, generally I'm going to be carrying a folder anyway in the other pocket, so you know, this would just be more of like a utility knife. But it's got it's a nice little design, and it's a liner lock, and it's accessible from the outside, which is very different compared to this guy. And the blade that's in this is, you know, only like that long, you know, in comparison. So I don't know if anyone has seen a lot of these videos on these, on this particular, this one is pretty common. A lot of people have this one, but this is not that common. I wish they still made it. You can see the width is pretty similar. This looks like it's a bit more bulky. I mean, they both have a nice advantage in that the outside is squared off, which makes a comfortable grip, both of them. But a major advantage that I can see here is that even though this looks like it opens up really wide, it's got this little cork that's, I guess it's part of the advantage of it, is that it helps it to fold up by that. But this little thing here, it seems like it kind of pops open a lot more often than I'd like it to. But you know, I guess it's a small price to pay for its compactness once it's folded up. But if I look at the size that it can get to, it says it can open up like a 1-inch bolt. But then if I open this one up, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's tremendous in comparison. And you could, you know, both of them, you can use them if you just tighten this up to the point that it just barely grips. You could actually use these as just regular pliers, you know, without it needing to lock. Both of them have that feature, so that it would become very similar to this. The advantage to this, though, is that it has some tools that neither of these have, that I like. I kind of like that this has a saw. I like that it has scissors in it, and I like that they're when it's closed up, you do have outside accessible knife, blade, and saw, and file and things like that. But this guy has some things that neither of them, the other one has. It's got the Phillips driver, can and bottle opener, a little I'm not sure what that is. That might just be a grabbing point. But then you have a file here with a fine side and a rough side. This is nice because it has the diamond file on it. And then, so it's getting a little unusual here. You got this thing, which is actually a hacksaw blade. Not a wood saw, but a metal hacksaw blade, which is kind of unusual. And then another flathead, and I guess a can opener, or bottle opener, I mean. Or it might just be for grabbing, I'm not really sure. I don't really use either of them because I don't drink the kind of beverages that require a opening device. It's just I kind of like this design, and but one thing that's a little unusual is that it comes with a sheath for this one. It's this long sheath because, you know, it doesn't fold up any smaller, so it's kind of long on your belt. In comparison to the Crunch's sheath, which I never even took out of the package, but this is the one that it came with. It's a leather sheath. I know that they might make a ballistic nylon version of it, but you know, so that's that size for that thing. You know, in comparison to the length of this thing. I mean, look how long that is to be on your belt. But it's not that bad in the sense that this is very ergonomic. You know, and you don't have to fiddle with anything to access the things you really need. So I just figured I would do a little side by side. Take a look at, sorry for hitting the tripod there. Inside the Crunch, you got a file, a rough and smooth file. I guess this could be a flathead screwdriver on here. And I think that this Leatherman Crunch that I have here has an unusual flaw, which I'll show you in a few seconds. Here's the blade for the Leatherman Crunch, and if I compare it to the blade on the Kershaw A100, you know, basically this blade eats this one for lunch. Tools out of here. I got a Phillips head in the Crunch, and then here's where I think the flaw is in mine. It appears that there's two identical small screwdrivers both with the same cap lifter there. And other ones I've seen, one of these is bigger than the other one. So I'm not sure if that's just like a fluke. But I'm not really intending to use this anyway. Advantage to this is that these are locking. So you have a lock on the back for the crunch. I mean, it's a nice design tool. And I would probably try EDCing it. And I know that this can come out, and then there's a hex drive socket in there. And I bought a little kit that could actually connect in there. And then I have like a ratcheting screwdriver set. I got it in Harbor Freight for like $2. It's not made for this at all, but it just happens to fit in there, and it's perfect. There does not seem to be anything like that in here. Let me just close this blade up before I cut myself. This adjustment tool knob here does not back out to the point that you could utilize the hole that's in there the way this one can be for the hex drive. But I have heard that there is a kit that can connect inside here, and then this becomes the gripping point for the toolkit, or you could use the you know, other size screws and screwdrivers and things like that. But yeah, I just figured I would make this video as a comparison side by side. Here's a size comparison, Paramilitary 2. This is the Wave. It's pretty similar in size to the Wave once it's all opened. This is slightly longer. But functionality wise, I think you have more abilities with this. And if you look at the size of the opening of the jaws, I think you got a bit more, almost the same, I guess, as the as this guy, as the Wave, but these can lock and these don't. And this is a bit heavier, I think, than this. The weight on this thing here, I got some stats written down over here. This is called the A100 from Kershaw. This was introduced in the year 1997, 2 years before this was introduced. The length of this, front to back here, from here to here, is 6 3/4 inches, which is 171 millimeters. The width this way is 1 1/4 or 32 millimeters. The thickness this way is 5/8 of an inch or 16 millimeters. And the weight of it is 8.6 ounces or 244 grams. I should have gotten the stats on that. Let's see, the weight on this is, on the Crunch, 6.9 ounces compared to 8.6 ounces of this. So I guess it is a little lighter. The blade steel on the Crunch is 420 HC, but this is just 420 C. So it's not the high carbon, but this is quite old now, and the blade looks like it's in really good shape. So whoever, I mean, I got this thing and it was quite rusty in certain spots, but I cleaned it up pretty good. But I kind of like the feel of it, and I like the look of it. It's something about like all these little standoffs and things like that, and it's just really engineered, really interestingly. I like it. I'm going to give it a shot trying to carry it and EDCing it. Although I will miss having a scissor and stuff like that, but I do have like a compact scissor that I keep in my phone case. So a lot of the things that I like that are in here, I'll have an alternate version of it in this, and then also in my pockets anyway, like my keychain and things like that. One thing I would like to talk about also is, I don't know why, a lot of people seem to really love that these cases, sheaths, have like a loop like this. It's great, you know, I guess for attaching it to your belt, but I like to attach things like this on the opposite side of my belt compared to the side that has the holes in it. So I have to, you know, put the belt through like 1 or 2 loops before I attach this thing, and then begin snaking the belt all the way around. I don't know why manufacturers can't seem to make, see, this is from Night Eyes. This is for a phone. This type of a case slips over your belt, and the belt gets locked in this area here. I've never had these things fall off on me, and it's instant. You could put it on and take it off instantly, and it never falls off. And I don't know why they can't find a way to make, you know, things like that for other sheaths or other companies that make sheaths. I don't know why they can't, you know, utilize this system. I have another one that I'm wearing right now that I'm trying to get off, but I can't, because I've been using that as a temporary, because I ordered another sheath, because this thing is going to drive me crazy waiting for it, but I can't even get it off. But it's also made by Night Eyes, but the it's got like this additional plastic thing that comes around this way that makes it almost impossible to get off your belt. So it might as well be just as difficult as this. But I really would like, I mean, in fact, I may even, because this is for a phone I no longer have anymore, I may drill these out and maybe try to see if I get into 2 of these rivets and then put it over here. This way I can put this thing on and off my belt easily with that clip. That's just an aside, but I just figured I would show you these interesting tools. So this is the Kershaw A100. All 3 of these, actually all of these, are made in USA. This is no longer made. It's made by Kershaw. And I was kind of surprised at it, because I had not known that Kershaw had made multi-tools. So it's just an interesting thing. I figured I would show you, share it with you, see if you're interested in this type of a thing, or what your feelings are on it. Well, thanks for watching. I'll try to make more videos as I can. I'm kind of recovering from pneumonia right now. I had a stomach virus. It turned into the flu, and then the flu turned into pneumonia, and I haven't been at work for almost 3 weeks now. It's really been bad. Rough couple of weeks. So get the flu shot. I wish I had gotten it. I wish it had helped me, but I don't know if it would have. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Take it easy.